Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. And keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as, investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy.
All right, folks, here we are on Tuesday, January 2nd. We're going to take a look at Palantir today. So Palantir, after putting up a battle, I'm trying to hold the gap. The gap kicks off here at this purple line at 1721-ish, and it fills around this purple line. That's a support level that we had on the chart. It actually fills at about 1496, whereas this support's at 1505. So either way, it catches support at 1505 or dips down to 1496 to fill the gap. It still is going to be well within the realm of just the battle for 15, right? Slightly above, slightly below. So we can shift that a bit as it gets closer, but to put in another level there, it's going to look weird. So in any case, it was trying to stay up just above the gap. It was trying to essentially hold the gap entry point as support while being caught under this downtrend resistance. As it started to approach the downtrend resistance, as of today, it's fallen down into the gap there. It's left a little bit of a gap of its own for today at least, so we'll see what that sort of brings in the future. But right now, trying to pick up support here at around 1650 level, right? That sort of approach toward those psychological levels often becomes important. So as it was dipping and approaching 1650, there were some buyers who basically said, I'll come in and, take some shares of Palantir ahead of 1650. So it didn't quite reach down, but you see where it gapped down here. It was right at this level that we had on the chart, this 1696. So basically that battle for 17, if you will. So the high today right now, 1695. And like I said, we had that 1696 level on the chart. So I feel pretty good about that. Maybe it will continue to play out support around that psychological 1650 level. We'll see. It's putting in a nice wick up at the moment. If it does lose support there today or in the coming days, 1603 or the battle for 16 is what I have on the chart. Sometimes these charts just sort of play out in a way that's like it's just sort of hitting every psychological level. We're on the dollar, on the 50 cent, and just, that's what it is. But we didn't put them in there because they're psychological levels. We put them in there because they actually have some prowess as, prior price action flipping from support to resistance and vice versa. So, but in any case, it's in the gap now. So we'll see what that means or what it brings. It is quite a large gap. This stock dropping over $2 to fill this gap is a huge percentage drawdown. So we'll see how that takes shape. Now, on the think or swim side of things, this is what the view looks like. We had this, if we just back it up a little bit, we had this trigger and fire that played out sort of roller coastery, right? It just put in this roller coaster motion and then this huge gap up. So this was just sort of like burn off of the trigger exhaust, if you will. And then the fire really happened here. Quite some time after the fact. Nice movement up out of the upper bound of the channel, quickly drew back down into the channel, and then has been pressing lower bound of the channel to mid-range ever since. And so right now, a couple of interesting things happening. One, at the moment at least, it's showing this putting in a trigger candle. Whether that will persist and actually it will end the day like that is to be seen. But it's doing that while it's at this long stretch of dying down little by little the bearish momentum. So is that bearish momentum actually going to be killed off here and brought all the way back to the baseline? It has a bit of a ways to go still, and it can certainly put in some hiccup candles. I don't know if I have a good example here. Yeah, like here's some hiccup candles, right? It was picking up, seeming it was going to die down, and then just picked right back up again for a few candles, and then it died down. So sometimes we can have some hiccup candles here where it's dying down, and then who knows, maybe it'll throw in some dark reds again in the near future, but we'll just have to see what that looks like. But it is quite interesting if it does start to trigger here, especially sort of batting around lower mid-range to mid-range and seeing how that wants to play out. So still well within the channel for the time being. That said, the channel is fairly wide at the moment because of all of this. Like we said, we had this roller coaster and then this jump out of the upper bound and then this push all the way down to the lower bound. That is just naturally going to broaden the channel, and that's what we're seeing right now. So it's within the channel, but the channel is quite wide at the moment, so you can still have huge upticks that hold the price action within the channel and huge drawdowns that still hold the price action within the channel. So it doesn't mean that it's not sort of like booming or busting. It just means it's within this large channel. Compare this channel here today versus the compressed price action here, where you had this consistent sideways motion as it was triggering here, right? That was the really great call out in the TTM squeeze indicator. But you could see it taking shape as the price was pinned to the mid-range of the channel. So we'll see if anything like that starts to form for the time being. But it's an interesting sort of confluence of events, this being, at least in recent days, trying to pin itself to the mid-range. I know it's losing that today, but if it can regain that and continue to put in trigger candles while still sort of being in the gap or right around the gap, sort of gives it an opportunity at least for a big sort of volatile play to take shape, whether that results in a jump up and it breaks this downtrend resistance or a big sort of elevator down moment. We'll have to wait and see. But that's where it stands for the time being as far as I can see it. All right, folks, I hope that your trading week is off to a good start. And as always, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next video.